These are the Mojave yucca, and they can be, 300 years old.
In southern Nevada, not far from the California border, one of America's largest untouched ecosystems bakes under the desert sun. It's under threat.
More demand for energy and more demand for space, for land. And that means that these places that sometimes people call empty deserts, which are not empty, they are full of animal and plant communities, they're threatened.
Recent legislation allows up to 161 square kilometers of desert to be cleared for housing. More homes for people, but plant life and endangered species like desert tortoises will lose their habitats.
Extinction is a real possibility for a species. You fundamentally change these landscapes and the balance that they have, and that puts every species in threat, including our own.
Building has already begun on a giant solar panel installation. A certain irony that natural habitats are being destroyed to create greener energy. This area is about 45 kilometers from the city limits of Las Vegas, which may sound like a lot, but the expectation is that the city will grow and grow over the coming years, meaning areas of natural beauty like this will gradually be encroached upon. The suburbs are spreading, expanding the city deeper into the desert. The county in which Las Vegas sits is already home to 2.4 million people. In 30 years' time, it's predicted it'll exceed 4 million. The city's expansion means more cars on the roads and more pollution in the air.
As you can see, there's non-stop traffic.
Cynthia Moore fights for environmental justice. We're visiting East Las Vegas, a largely immigrant community and less affluent. A place with too few trees and too much concrete.
We're focusing more on building out. We're leaving behind our communities that are affected the most by air pollution and other environmental injustices. Not only are we in the middle of an urban heat island, but we're also in the area that has the worst air quality in town.
But despite the very immediate reality of climate change, Moore admits for this election the community is more focused on cost of living increases, like higher air conditioning bills. An hour's drive away is the city's main water supply. 90% of Vegas's water comes from Lake Mead. But 20 years of drought have left so-called bathtub rings around the distant hills, showing where the water once reached. The distance from the dark lines down to the water's surface is now the equivalent of a 15-story building. That drastic drop in water has become much more obvious over the last few months, and those falling water levels are raising questions about the viability of Las Vegas as we head into a hotter, drier future. Water conservation is key. In the last 18 years, the region has decreased water use by almost 50%.
We are seeing the long-term aridification of the western United States. Climate change is no longer something off into the future. Climate change is here. It is at our doorstep.
But in this election, Mac worries about climate deniers, both the voters and the politicians.
When I go into that voting booth, that I am thinking about climate change, and I'm thinking about representatives that understand the implications of climate change. If you're a climate change denier and you're running for election, you're not getting my vote.
The non-stop neon and round-the-clock entertainment may be the reason why most people come to Vegas. But all bets are off as to whether Las Vegas can survive the future, and whether climate change may finally force the city to cash in its chips. Nick Harper, CNA, Las Vegas.